Dave?
You know, and if I might, Mary Ann, I think kind of what I was interested in is, as I know, the Vision 2025 had plans for a soccer park in there. I understand that's changed somewhat, and that there's a kind of the development plan for Mohawk Park has changed from Vision 2025. Would you kind of update me and kind of say where you're planning, what we're going to do, and your new plans, if you could?
Be glad to. And the last master drainage plan that was adopted for Mohawk was in 1982. So needless to say, it needed to be updated. So in 2001, we began the process of hiring an architectural firm to help us in developing a new master plan for Mohawk. In the meantime, the Vision 2025 program developed as we were going through the master planning. And once that had passed, part of that, we decided we'd try to incorporate what had been discussed in Mohawk Park for that development. So we went back to the drawing board, as it were, and tried to integrate soccer fields into Mohawk Park. Mohawk is in a floodway and a floodplain. Only the zoo and Oxley and maybe one or two other little spots in the park are not in that situation. So development is a great challenge in that particular situation. Environmentally, we have a huge amount of acreage out there, but most of it is subject to flood and frequent flooding. And in some areas it holds water all year round. Even in a drought, it's holding water. It's heavily treed. There's a gorgeous nature center out there, as well as the zoo and other picnic shelter and etc. So we did try to integrate both BMX, because we also had requests for that. We had requests for skateboarding. We had requests for more shelters. We kind of combined many of the requests that people had provided for us to consider in Mohawk Park. We went ahead and integrated it into a plan. We took that plan out to the public last year, and we had a really overwhelming response for a public meeting. I know you all attended public meetings where there's 4 people there. This didn't have 4 people there. There were hundreds of people there, and the majority of people, both at both meetings and the subsequent emails, letters, and phone calls that were received for comments on that plan as well, were against locating the soccer fields in Mohawk Park. 1, because of the flooding issue. 2, because we have to have compensatory storage, which means for every foot that we raise something, we have to dig a hole someplace. That causes problems with basically the flora and fauna of that integrated environment out there. We had biologists, we had professors, we had neighbors, we had oxygen, we had bird watchers, we had all kinds of people say, do not destroy our habitat, find something else. So back to the drawing board we went again, and I'm going to let Greg take it from here and show you on the map what our proposal is at this point and for the master plan. We did take this plan, go ahead and put it. We did take this plan to the park board for approval, and then the next step will be taking it to the Board of Adjustment to approve the master plan itself.
We took this out of the park and over here at 56th Street North and Highway 75. This is Highway 75 north to 7. We did this because of multiple reasons. 1, it does not flood, so we can actually have events there without flooding. Has great ingress and egress, and the land is available right now that can make it contiguous to Mohawk Park. So starting up here, we have this. We have the BMX and skate park up here as well. It all blends into Mohawk Park. Lake Yohola is a beautiful facility. We can actually do a 5K run around Lake Yohola if we have that much area. We have the nature trails that will be developed throughout the park. All new shelters, and basically just a general development throughout the whole park. New shelters, new picnic tables, that type of thing throughout the whole park.
Now this is, I think you all received some information from me on kind of an outline of what the committee would propose to spend money on if they had money. And this is a long-range plan. That's why they're master plans. It's going to take years and years and years to actually complete everything that you'd like to see in Mohawk Park. So, but of course now we'll have a plan so that we can take those things one at a time and try to fund them. Perhaps there may be public donations available at some point in time. But we're excited about it. The soccer folks, we've met with them several times, that they like the location because you don't have the hurdles that you do in Mohawk to overcome, and because the egress and ingress is wonderful. And I'm afraid the infrastructure of Old Mohawk Park just would not take that many cars coming in and out of it for any amount of time at all. So they're excited about it. They like the idea of the BMX and the skateboard and the soccer fields all being together. So it's an integrated active area within the park. And that allows us to keep the nature center and those that like the natural, quiet loveliness of that area to stay intact as well and keep that balance of nature as well in the park.
This is an exploded view of the soccer park. We went and met with Mr. Hart and Public Works. The utilities are there to maintain a soccer facility in there. The pond is already there. So we feel like it's a win-win deal. We've been meeting a long time trying to get everybody happy. We go to Board of Adjustment next month. I feel very comfortable that we can go. We have no controversy. Iron this all out before we get there. Any questions?
Yeah, just I want to focus in on one of my concerns was when Vision 2025 was passed. We had this then master plan for development of Mohawk Park, and it was related to the people as the jewel of North Tulsa, 2,500 acres, and it was an asset of Tulsa to develop. Along with the plan was a certain amount of money. I think there's $5.5 million. I didn't need a specific amount for soccer. And I saw in your budget there's 5.5, and then I think this property acquisition was like 1.5 million to buy this, and my concern was, at the end of the day, when people voted for Vision 2025, wasn't there really they wanted a soccer field, and a whole soccer complex that was up and operational. And my question is I can understand why things worked out in Mohawk Park, but the question is, at the end of the day, will we be able to have an operational soccer facility as you laid out here, or will the $1.5 million to acquire this property, then we're going to need additional capital to have a soccer facility? And just the question is didn't people vote to have a functional, operational soccer facility? And was there other land in the city of Tulsa? Was it a development of Mohawk Park, or was it a soccer facility? So my question really is with the money that you have allocated Vision 2025, will you be able to buy that land and have an operational soccer facility as you're presenting for the amount of money we have for Vision 2025? And if not, if there's a shortage, what will you have at the end of the day?
First part is, no, there's not enough money to develop a soccer field with what the funds that we have available and purchase the land. Secondly, the representative of the Soccer Association, the soccer family in Tulsa, realizes that. We met with him again yesterday, Chief LaCroix and I did. He realizes there's not enough money, but he thinks this is still a better spot, and so does, I guess this is the people he represents, a better spot than in Mohawk for their purposes. Secondly, he all along knew that his vision of what the complex eventually really will become is far beyond the money that was available to begin with. His intention is to do two things. His intention is to seek private donations in order to completely fund the park, to use as much money from the vision as we can to get to as far as we can, and then get private donations, as well as provide maintenance endowment funds to maintain the facility. You're talking about 16 fields with lights, irrigation, concession stands, parking, trash, all the things that are associated with operations. So he and the soccer people realize that they're going to have to not only get private donations, but also be able to endow the maintenance for the facility.
And I understand the soccer community saying they can do that, but I want to go back to the voting community. At the end of the day, what do you see if you buy this property? How many fields will you be able to develop? So we took the Vision 2025 funds, we put money in for a soccer field. At the end of the day, how many soccer fields will we have, and what will the complex look with just the money from Vision 2025?
If we light all the soccer fields, and that's an issue whether you light or unlight soccer fields, but if we lit all of the soccer fields, each field would cost, and Greg's made an estimate of $210,000 a field.
Is that to light it and to build it?
To light it, to put the irrigation,
Okay.
everything in. So that's per field. Then you want to put in parking lot, concession stands, restrooms, and we can probably get that figure for you, or at least get an estimate of that figure for you. But I think, and then the other issue is maybe you don't light all of them right away. Maybe you put the infrastructure in to provide lighting later, and then you get more soccer fields. So that's going to be decisions as we go into the design and go into the estimates. Those will have to be decisions that will have to be made as part of that process.
Last question then is did you look at, did you look at the city had other land that you could take the $1.5 million that you're acquiring land with here, that we might have city land we own, and then your $1.5 million could have gone into actually a soccer field at the end of the day and be completed. Did you look at any other alternatives other than this is nice to Mohawk Park, it could be anywhere? Did you look at any of those alternatives?
Well, we did not look at the soccer field alternative in any other area because in the actual ordinance, it says improvements to Mohawk Park.
Okay.
It wasn't for a park someplace else or for soccer field someplace else. It was actually for Mohawk Park. It was pretty simple language. So improvements at Mohawk Park and the Aerospace Museum. That was the category.
Okay.
And that's the way it appeared on the ballot. So we didn't go into any vast, quest for looking for something. But I can tell you that to try to put 16 soccer fields in a neighborhood someplace in the city is not an easy thing.
No, I understand. I was just, I wanted to understand, so you feel is this the only viable alternative to what we presented to the voters as development of Mohawk Park was to buy land adjacent to Mohawk Park to develop this because it couldn't be done in Mohawk Park?
Well, I will tell you that this is a grand opportunity because very few times do you have access to that much potential park space adjacent to a present park that has the kind of highway access that this piece of property has.
Okay.
It's wonderful. It would be so comfortable for the people who use that facility to get in and out of that facility. And there's not a lot of development around it, so there won't be people to bother, and it won't cause a problem in the neighborhood with congestion. So we think it's a remarkable opportunity, actually.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilor Turner's first, then Councilor Neal.
Well, basically, good show.
Thank you, sir.
It is from District 3, and good show, again. So, we're doing some development up there, and I think this is the first thing that's catalyst to accomplishing some of the things we want to do in the district, and I'm with you all the way.
Thank you, sir.
Councilor Neal.
Well, I think it's an excellent opportunity, and I applaud what you've been able to accomplish in the last week. Having given a lot of speeches on Vision 2025, I know that it was for signage, shelter, and soccer facilities, and I think this gets us as close as we can, and it delivers what we said we would do on Vision 2025. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Councilor Martinson.
My big concern is, and it sounds like we've come up with a way to deliver to the voters what they approve, and I think that's really important, but I've got more than a casual knowledge on soccer. My daughters were on a real successful soccer team. They actually were national runners-up at one point. So I've done a lot of traveling throughout the country to soccer facilities. And one of the questions I have on this, do we have room to expand the facility if the need arises? And before you respond, I guess my big concern is I think it would be a big mistake to poor boy this project. First-class facility would be a great opportunity to attract teams in from outside the Tulsa area. We're right in between Dallas and Kansas City. There should be tremendous opportunities there, but 16 fields, quite frankly, I think kind of limits our options. So you don't want to do everything all at once with the limited funds we have, but I would rather do it right than just do something. So I hope that as part of this grand scheme, we've got a long-range plan that will enable us to do this thing right, because it could be a tremendous economic boom to Tulsa.
Well, and we do have opportunity in any additional funding package that you all may consider as well in the future to add to what's available right there now. And we can also have discussions with representatives of all the soccer associations to see if maybe they would rather buy more land and try to leverage more private dollars to actually building the facility. And I think they want a first-class facility too. They've shown me, and several people have facilities around the country that they think are premier facilities that bring in great numbers of people.
Oh, it's huge. You have to have the facilities to attract the out-of-town guests, and I think we have a great opportunity here to use this as an economic development tool. So my big concern is I just want to do it right. I like the idea of having it up around Mohawk because Mohawk's underutilized now, I think, and it'll draw people to that part of town. But again, I just want to make sure we do it right. We don't just four-boy the project and then we end up with something that's substandard that doesn't give us, the biggest bang for the buck.
I agree with you.
So,
Councilor, are you done? I'm sorry, Councilor.
yes, I do. Thank you.
Councilor Henderson, then Councilor Neal.
My concerns were the same along with his. When we discussed this in the early stages, I think that they were saying that 16 fields may not be large enough, to actually accommodate large numbers of people coming in. And I don't know if they're talking about 32 fields or whatever, but 16 fields may be a smaller attraction than it would be if we had more fields. So I'm on the same line as he was, that we're going to do it. And if we do 16 and we're not going to really benefit like we think we are from it, then we need to be trying to look at getting a larger.
Councilor Neal.
I think the soccer community is on the same page as you all are, and they have been looking at this from the standpoint of growth for a long time. 16 fields buys you a certain level of tournament. A parking lot of certain size buys you a certain level of tournament. 28 fields ups it considerably. They do have that vision. It will really be up to the funding mechanisms that any future council is willing to invest in this dream. But it is an economic development opportunity. But 16 fields does put you on the playing field, at least, for a certain level of tournament. And it is the first right step.
And I just want to go on record to make sure that Councilman Turner didn't think that I was against the project in his area.
Is that what you were about to say, or did you want to speak?
Well, I was going to speak that way, but now that he's corrected me, I think I'll just leave it alone. But basically, I see this as a win-win situation because actually putting a complex in this area, and actually you get to the point where you bring in gas stations, convenience stores, and all the amenities that go along with it, where you have the transportation, where you have the crowd going in and out. So, and then on the other hand, it attracts from more in the city. So it's a win-win situation, and that's it. That is, I see that as a catalyst to begin. The north corner going up 75. That is the beginning of that catalyst to developing that area.
Anyone else?
I was just going to say, I think Councilor Martino needs to get the popcorn concession.
Got it all wrong, bud.
I'm going to have to get a hold of what this popcorn is.
You're right. Pizzas.
I'm on a low-carb diet, though, so I don't think I want to know. Anyway, if I may, you keep citing the individual that's the sort of speaking for the soccer community. Who is that? Just
His name is Gordon Wilson.
Gordon Wilson. Okay. And do we have? And I guess I should probably give the same caveat Councilor Henderson did to Councilor Turner. Just questions. Who owns the property that we're talking about?
You know, Greg, do you know who actually owns it?
It's privately owned. I don't know.
So we have a price tag on it. I assume we've
We've
discussed
been
this
approached as a basic offer. How much would it take to buy the land from someone who has options on the land?
We have no idea.
Kevin Anderson has options.
Kevin Anderson has that. Okay. So we can speak with Kevin. And then with regard to I mean, I'm sitting here looking at this, and we had a lot of discussion during the North Tulsa County annexation about the potential commercial development for the Highway 75 corridor, and certainly you have to have something that draws people to the area to have commercial development. I understand that, so not questioning that, but looking at this, and you see 56th Street North is very close here, and as we go to drawing in large soccer tournaments into this, national or regional soccer tournaments into the area, then it does have an economic impact, not only possibly for the city of Tulsa, but they're going to have to go down Highway 75, I would assume, into downtown, into hotels that exist there. If we're going to see it, we're also going to see substantial impact to the Owasso community. Have we had any discussions with the city of Owasso so far, or Sperry or Skiatook, as to how much they might be willing to assist?
No, we haven't, but we can certainly do that.
It seems to me this would be one of those things where we're putting up an upfront price tag and asking to do some of the additional amenities to bring that economic development in there that anybody else that might develop.
We can certainly start that dialogue with them.
I think in Port of Phoenix, I think Councilor Collins planning and widening and redoing 56th Street North, which would be a plus for us. And maybe, what I'm thinking really is basically because they've got O'Brien Park north of 56th Street North, and they've got all their land in there. I'm thinking that maybe this could be something like River Parks, city-county cooperation and collaboration in order to get this whole accomplished.
I guess what I'm saying is it would be better if it's the city's county participation.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
In other words, those that are going to benefit from it, even though, and is this currently within, I'm trying to remember, it's right around the boundaries, but is it currently within our annexed area, or is it a fence line?
It's city limits.
It is city limits, okay.
It's city.
All right. Any other questions, comments? Seeing none, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Moving on, I'm going to handle items 3, 4, and 5 together without objection. Budget number 3, budget transfer ordinance.